We're just heading up the river here in Krabi. I love going up rivers. Rivers all over the world are the transportation hub, the fishing hub, trading hubs, lots of people, fishing boats, lots of action, just a lot of action. We're just going to go up a little ways here, drop the hook, and yeah, just kind of watch the show go by. It's a lot different than sitting on the ocean in some beautiful bay. It's sometimes a lot more entertaining.
What?
I think these fishermen deserve a couple ropes. We got a lot of old ropes.
They didn't want to stop, Ben.
They didn't want to stop. Maybe. I think he's checking his own prop. He thinks there's a rope in it. That message did not go over well.
There is an incredible estuary slash mangrove system here, and we can get so far in the dinghy. We've already explored it a bit on the other side, but there's a whole bunch of people that live on the island, so we definitely will see some boats going by.
I'm kind of watching my depth down here because rivers are typically quite shallow. But it is locked down still, or kind of semi-locked down here in Thailand, so 90% of the parks in Thailand also equate to 90% of the islands, which means we can't go many places. We can basically go to a very popular beach called Railay Beach, which is currently empty, but we've been there for quite a while. We can go to the local marina, or we can go up the river. So we're gonna try the river out, see what we can find. Yeah, I don't know. I like exploring rivers. It's always different.
Is this a river or an estuary? What's the difference?
I don't know, you're very stuck on that, aren't
Yeah,
you?
well, it's salt water. It's not fresh, right? Like in Kumai, they were drinking out of it and they were bathing in it.
Maybe
and
it's
stuff.
a tributary.
That's what I'm thinking.
We gotta get these facts down.
Yeah, we're gonna be correct. But it's pretty cool, and it's surrounded by mangroves. There's gonna be a billion mosquitoes. It's gonna be awesome.
Selling it hard.
The lovely smell and sign of garbage burning.
So all of these boats out here are typically servicing the local islands, but they're all tied up due to COVID. All the islands are closed since they're parks, and yeah, immigration. What is it, Ash? Naval Police? We're not sure. Coast Guard, Naval Police are popping their head out. I don't know if they're after us or just doing a drive-by. We'll see.
We're not even anchored yet. I don't want to deal with drifting down a river with police on board. I gotta put on a mask and all this stuff.
We're legal, by the way. We're legal. We got legal visa. We're yeah, legal. Very legal in all senses. Very legal. I have wanted to get on one of those fishing boats, really the bigger fishing boats of that style, ever since we got to Thailand. When we first got here, there was no COVID, but we had to go home because of a baby. Now there's COVID, so I just don't feel in integrity getting on those boats. It's just not the time. But next year, when we come back, I'm gonna get on one of those big fishing boats. Oh, you caught a pufferfish. Hey Ash, yeah, you did too. Yeah. I guess they don't eat pufferfish.
I'm Ben. That's Ashley. And that's our floating home, Nahoa. We recently added another crew member. She goes by the name of Willa. After having sailed over halfway around the world, we are getting ready for the second half of our circumnavigation, which will take us across the Indian Ocean and around the bottom of Africa. But right now, we find ourselves in Thailand, where the borders are still closed and the beaches are empty of tourists.
Most of these longtails run Hondas, Honda engines, 4-strokes. When we're in the Philippines, they're running Hondas.
Can we go on yours?
Can we take our
Can we come? Yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I see the engine?
Yeah, this is the engine.
Oh, it's a little Honda. How many horsepower?
16 horsepower.
When we were in Indonesia, they were not running Hondas. They were running, I have no idea what they were running. Clock talks, they called them.
This one the real clock talk with the sound. This one.
But here, definitely Hondas, Philippines Hondas. I think they're expensive, but they last a long time and they're really good on fuel.
No, thank you. No.
Good businessman. He's trying to offer me some fish and some crab.
Oh, skate. Yeah, pretty crazy what they catch here. Skate, pufferfish, crab.
I feel like there's a lot going on here. It's kind of like freeing. In marinas, you're I feel like it's kind of claustrophobic, and as soon as we get out to anchor where there's other boats, even if they are loud longtails, I really like it.
COVID?
So he just said COVID, and he signaled a mask. I'm on my boat, he's on his boat. But there's a new rule here in Thailand, which is you get fined 20,000 baht if you don't wear a mask once you leave your home. 20,000 baht is the equivalent of about, I think, $800 Canadian, a little bit less US. So it's a lot of money for Thais. What we're finding out here in Thailand has some of the friendliest people we've ever come across. And it's not unfriendly now. It's simply not as welcoming with the locals. They're not inviting you into their homes, as they shouldn't. But it's also, I think, a bit of fear of foreigners.
Uh-oh. You want me to pull up?
Apparently, our anchor is stuck over top of his net. We'll see how this goes.
I need your help.
All right.
He says our anchor is over top of his net.
Okay, is that his other flag right there?
We're gonna have to reverse all the way around.
Why don't you just pull the anchor out and we'll re-anchor? You're at 10 meters anyway.
Okay.
So we really did it this time. The anchor basically has to come up. Okay. Sorry. Ask him if it's okay to drop here, yeah?
Can I put back down? It's okay down?
Yeah.
The engine is going to hit us right here.
So who was here first, Ash?
I guess he was, because our anchor was over top of his net. Hard to say, though.
Poor dude, though, man. That net is worth his living, his income.
Hey, we didn't wreck it. It was all good.
No, but if we hadn't been on the boat, it would have been a problem.
And here comes the rain.
Yeah, we've been getting squalls in the morning now. It's sort of changing, I guess. Wowzers, it's actually raining a lot today. So this is, I mean, it's rainy season. And it's not even the rainiest month. But it does rain a fair amount. But it doesn't last. So like in a few hours it'll be sunny again, or in an hour it'll be sunny again and hot and humid. And then sometimes we'll get another rain in the afternoon. But seriously, rain curtains, right? Can you believe it? See, it's gone already. Done, over. I guess that's what we get. Hope our rope's long enough.
What are you doing? She's just hanging there, dude.
Well, she slipped. She's not very helpful.
Dude, this is the more treacherous landing I've had in a while. It's nice of them to have a ladder though. Whoa. It's gonna be even trickier when the tide's up when we come back. Okay.
All right, are we ready?
Mass and start sweating.
The sauna, the face sauna.
What do you think, Ash? You have an opinion on this? Would you buy it? This is something I think you would find in one of those airplane catalogs. Don't you think?
You so would find this in one of those airplane catalogs. I think it's hilarious. I had to come look at it. But no, I wouldn't buy it. It's too much effort for it to set up and take down. I can't be bothered. It smells bad around here.
We just extended our boat to be allowed into this country for another year, a whole year. That's pretty exciting, without having to pay customs or duties.
Yeah, so they changed the rules. Because of COVID, Thai Customs has been super fantastic to yachties whose boats are stuck here, and they've extended the temporary import permit for 2.5 years. We arrived here 2.5 years ago from May something 2022.
COVID, if there's one thing about COVID, it's made travel easier in a really weird way because we got offered water in there and it was just really lovely. And in general, it's really lovely at customs, it's lovely at immigration. They just have more patience, I think, and they want you to be in the country. Anyways, police just went by.
20,000 baht fine for not wearing a mask.
Anyways, yeah, pound that out.
Yeah, we're super stoked.
All right, someone once asked us, how do you secure your dinghy when you go to shore? And it's a great question because we just left our dinghy over at some random beach here in Krabi Town. And to be honest, it's totally dependent on where in the country, what town, what city, what neighborhood. See, when we were down in Phuket, Shillong Bay, you do not leave your dinghy not locked up if it's a nice dinghy. Here, we're in Krabi Town, different province, no problem. Onang, just around the corner, bigger kind of city, probably no problem. So it totally depends on the neighborhood, totally depends on the village, totally depends on the locals in that area.
But you should have a good lock for your dinghy because some places it's like immediate. Like you leave your dinghy unlocked, don't expect to come back. It's interesting because in Thailand, in most of these smaller towns, they only have longtails and they don't use outboard engines. So there's not a huge, it's not as desirable. It's not as desirable an object. But in Shillong Bay, there's tons of tourism and tourist boats and charter boats and all these things. Anyway, it's more common for a local to have an outboard dinghy and a rubber inflatable.
And for stuff to go missing.
A lot. We got a problem. We're coming into a marina again, and as always, when you don't want it to, the engine stops. We have a big problem with a fuel bug in the starboard engine, and yeah, of course we're going into a marina. So, good day? Good day up the river?
Yeah, pretty good day on the river.
Okay, Willa, keep the naughty bits out of the shot, eh?
Boats.
Sorry, what was
Pretty good
that?
day on the river, ending in some nudity. Well, we're out of quarantine. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's been a week and a half where we've been hanging out with family. And it feels like a month and a half. Right now, we're actually on this little island called Keats Island. It's on the Sunshine Coast on the west coast of Canada, close to Vancouver. And yeah, it's a nice little place.
So we've been up here for 4 days with family, and it's been super busy catching up with family, and we're allowed to catch up with them now. We've already got our first COVID shot in. We've been to the doctor. We've seen all the families. Yeah, it's been busy. It's been good.
But coming up next, we're going to clean out the bowler trailer. You might have seen that last year. We're gonna go camping. We're not quite sure where yet because I think we kind of missed the boat on the campsite reservations.
Oh yes, my friend. Oh yes. We often, there's beautiful campsites in BC, but it's you know, it's a COVID summer. So even though we're allowed to go traveling now in BC, the campsites are all booked up.
But yeah, so when we get through the Thailand footage, which will be over in, what do we say, 4 weeks, we don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe a little bit of camping footage, and then we have no idea how to bridge the gap. Do you guys have any ideas?
We have ideas, but you know, we'd love to hear your ideas because maybe you have something crazy that you think we should go off and do. Keep in mind, we have a 1.5-year-old who's sometimes a little bit crazy and a pregnant Ashley.